Anna sits at her kitchen table one evening, sipping tea and scrolling through emails when a notification pops up on her phone. It's a message from an unknown number. Did you know about her? She's not gone. She's coming back for him. Anna stares at the message, her fingers hesitating over the screen. She dismisses it at first, thinking it's probably a spam text, a prank, or maybe even a scam. But the wording unsettles her, like it's meant specifically for her. Shrugging it off, she tries to focus on the dinner she's preparing. But all through the evening, the words keep echoing in her mind, gnawing at her peace. She watches Igor as he comes home, tired, glancing at his watch, and rubbing his temples in that familiar way that tells her it was a long day at work. She decides not to mention it. She doesn't want to look paranoid, but the tension gets the best of her. After dinner, while they're both unwinding in the living room, she brings it up. Igor, I got a strange message today. Distracted scrolling on his phone. From whom? I don't know. It was from an unknown number. It said something odd. What did it say? Something about, did you know about her? She's not gone. She's coming back for him. She watches his face for a reaction. Igor's expression doesn't change, but she notices a flicker in his eyes before he chuckles, brushing it off. Probably just spam, Anna. They send random things like that all the time, hoping someone will respond. Yes, but the way it was worded, it felt personal, like it was meant for us. People write all kinds of nonsense online. Don't give it any more thought. He goes back to his phone, not noticing the crease of worry on her face. Later that night, as she tries to sleep, Anna replays the brief conversation in her mind. Igor hadn't seemed concerned, but she couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. She remembers the flash of something in his eyes, something like recognition or surprise. It's faint, but enough to stir an unease in her. The next morning, she can't resist glancing at his phone while he's showering, searching for any hint of the mysterious her from the message. Nothing seems out of the ordinary, but she feels guilty for snooping and pushes the phone away, scolding herself. Just as she's beginning to convince herself that Igor was right, her phone buzzes again. Another message from the unknown number. You're smarter than that, Anna. Trust your instincts. This message chills her to the bone. It feels almost like someone is watching her, reading her thoughts. She quickly deletes it, but can't erase the words from her mind. The idea that someone else might know her husband's past better than she does starts to gnaw at her, and doubts she never thought she had begin to creep in. That evening, she tries to approach Igor about it once more. So, you've never mentioned any exes, really? I mean, everyone has a past, right? Smiling, looking amused. Of course, I had a life before we met, but that was ages ago. Why the sudden interest? I just realized I don't know much about who you were before me. Isn't that strange? Softly, reaching for her hand. Anna, you know all that matters. The past is the past. Let's not dig up old ghosts. He kisses her hand, ending the conversation with a warm smile. Anna wants to believe him, but as they sit in the quiet that follows, she can't help feeling a hollow tension in her chest. She doesn't bring up the messages again, but they continue arriving over the next few days, each more ominous than the last. And though she deletes them immediately, a small voice in the back of her mind begins whispering, "What if there's something he's not telling me?" A few days after the strange messages, Anna is alone in the house, cleaning up the living room. She moves a stack of magazines and notices something unusual, a dark red scarf draped over the arm of the couch. It's delicate, with a floral design she doesn't recognize. She picks it up, frowning. It isn't hers, and she doesn't recall seeing anyone else with it. Igor's mother rarely visits, and none of her friends have been over recently. Anna's mind races back to the anonymous messages. Could this belong to her? She shakes her head, dismissing the thought as paranoia, but it unsettles her. As she moves through the house, she becomes hyper-aware of every detail. In the bedroom, she catches a faint whiff of perfume that doesn't belong to her, something floral and musky, distinctly different from her own light citrusy scent. She leans over her dresser and sniffs again. It's faint but undeniable. When Igor returns home that evening, she decides to confront him. Igor, Do you know anything about this scarf? She holds it up, trying to keep her tone casual. Looks at it briefly and shrugs. No, isn't it yours? If it were, would I be asking? Chuckles, trying to lighten the mood. Maybe you're just forgetful. You have so many scarves, Anna. Feeling a mix of annoyance and suspicion. I don't forget things like this, Igor. And there's this smell in our room, a perfume that isn't mine. Anna, are you still thinking about that message? I told you it's just spam. You're overthinking. Maybe. But why am I noticing things that feel wrong? She pauses, looking at him closely. Are you sure there's nothing I need to know? Igor steps closer, taking her hands, and gives her a reassuring smile. Anna, you're the only one. There's nothing I'm hiding from you. He places a gentle kiss on her forehead, and she tries to relax in his arms. But as they embrace, she catches a faint hint of the same unfamiliar perfume clinging to his shirt. She pulls back slightly, her eyes narrowing, but says nothing, swallowing her suspicions. He seems sincere, but something inside her nags, pulling her toward doubt. The next day, while Igor is at work, Anna decides to investigate on her own. She rifles through the closet and dresser drawers, searching for any sign of this other woman the anonymous messages hinted at. As she digs through a pile of winter clothes, she discovers a hairpin nestled in the folds of a sweater. It's ornate, silver with a small gemstone embedded in it. She has never seen it before. The combination of the scarf, the perfume, and now this hairpin leaves her feeling unsteady. She can't ignore it any longer. She takes out her phone and scrolls through the unknown messages, rereading each one, and feels a chill as she realizes they seem almost prophetic, like they've been guiding her to these discoveries. That night, as she and Igor sit down to dinner, she can't keep quiet any longer. Igor. I found a hairpin in the closet today. And another message came. Sired. Anna, please, you're letting this get to you. It's probably some old thing that ended up in a weird place. We've been through this. No, Igor, I'm finding things in our house that shouldn't be here. A scarf, a hairpin, and I keep smelling this perfume I don't use. Someone has been here or someone left these things. Leaning back, looking frustrated. Anna, you need to stop. These messages are messing with your head. Maybe you left those things there ages ago and forgot. I didn't. And I know what I smell, Igor. I'm not imagining this. Igor looks at her with a mix of exasperation and concern. She watches him carefully, hoping for reassurance, but his reluctance to take her worries seriously only deepens her mistrust. She leaves the table, excusing herself, her mind racing with questions. That night, she lies awake, feeling trapped between trust and fear. The thought that Igor could be hiding something grows stronger, twisting her thoughts into knots. In her heart, she wants to believe him, but the evidence feels too tangible to ignore. And then, as if on cue, her phone buzzes on the nightstand. Another message. You know where to look next. She sits up, her heart pounding. The message feels like a taunt, daring her to uncover whatever truth lies hidden within her own home. And for the first time, she realizes she's willing to go to any lengths to find out. Anna feels trapped in a waking nightmare. The anonymous messages continue, each one urging her to look closer, to dig deeper. Despite Igor's reassurances, her instincts tell her there's something he's not sharing. Determined to understand what's going on, she decides to search the house thoroughly, hoping to either uncover the truth or dispel her own fears. She starts in the attic, going through old boxes that haven't been touched since they moved in. Dust fills the air as she opens one box after another, sifting through photos, letters, and trinkets. After hours of searching, she finds something buried at the bottom of a box. An old photograph of Igor, with a young woman she doesn't recognize. They're standing close, arms wrapped around each other, smiling as if in love. Her heart pounds as she studies the picture, feeling an unsettling familiarity about the woman's face. With the photograph clutched in her hand, Anna confronts Igor that evening. She waits until he comes home, her nerves raw, and hands him the picture the moment he walks in. Who is she? Igor takes the photo and looks at it, his expression unreadable. He sighs, then looks up at her. Her name is Tatiana. We were together a long time ago. Suspiciously, and you never thought to tell me? I find her things in our house, and I get these strange messages, and you expect me to believe it's all a coincidence? Anna, I didn't tell you because it was in the past. Tatiana was part of my life before you. I didn't think it mattered. But it does matter. Someone wants me to know about her. They're leaving these traces of her everywhere. Igor's expression softens, and he reaches for her hand, but she pulls away. Anna, I don't know who's sending these messages or why you're finding these things. Maybe it's all in your head. Don't you dare say that. I'm not imagining this. Someone is leaving reminders of her in our home. Igor rubs his face, looking weary, and tries to placate her. Fine. Tatiana was intense. When we broke up, she struggled to let go, but that was years ago. I thought she'd moved on. Eyes narrowing. Are you sure she has? Igor hesitates, just for a moment, and that slight pause plants a fresh seed of doubt in her mind. She decides she'll have to do her own digging. The next day, Anna goes to the library to search for any information about Tatiana. She learns that Tatiana still lives in the city, although in a different part. As she's leaving, her phone buzzes with another message. You're getting closer. Anna's hands shake as she reads it, feeling a strange mixture of fear and determination. She returns home and, with a new wave of resolve, decides to investigate a place she's previously avoided, the basement. It's Igor's space, filled with tools and old belongings he's been storing for years. She's rarely gone down there, respecting it as his personal space. But now she's willing to break any rule if it brings her answers. As she rummages through boxes, she finds an old journal tucked beneath a stack of books. Flipping through its pages, she realizes it's Igor's, written years ago. The early pages are mundane, documenting work events and casual thoughts, but she freezes when she reaches a section filled with entries about Tatiana. One entry catches her eye. Tatiana's insistence on leaving things at my place, it's starting to feel like she's marking territory. I've tried to explain that we can't move forward this way, but she doesn't listen. Sometimes I feel like she's everywhere, even when she's not here. The entries paint a picture of a woman obsessed, leaving Anna feeling both relieved and deeply disturbed. She closes the journal, trying to process what she's learned. That evening, she confronts Igor again, journal in hand. I found your journal, Igor. The entries about Tatiana. You said she left things around as if she was trying to haunt you, or someone else who might come after her. Igor looks at the journal, his expression troubled, as if he's seeing a ghost. I'd forgotten about that. She was possessive. It was like she wanted to leave parts of herself behind. But now these parts are turning up in our life. Your life with me. Who would do that, Igor? Igor sighs, looking genuinely remorseful. Anna, I thought she was out of my life. I didn't think these things would resurface. Well, they have. And I'm not going to rest until I understand why. Igor reaches out to hold her, but she steps back. The trust between them feels strained, almost shattered, and Anna realizes that she's on her own if she wants to uncover the truth. In the final moments of the chapter, Anna receives another message. This time, it's different. You're almost there, Anna. Look where it all began. She stares at the words, her mind racing. The message feels like a dare, leading her to the heart of a mystery that seems both strange and sinister. Determined to confront whatever secrets lie hidden, she braces herself for what comes next. With the cryptic message, look where it all began, fresh in her mind, Anna resolves to dig even deeper into Igor's past. That phrase gnaws at her, pointing her toward a place that might hold answers. She recalls a cafe that Igor once mentioned visiting, often with an old girlfriend. Despite feeling uneasy, she decides to visit, hoping to find someone who might remember him, or, better yet, the woman from the photo. The cafe has a rustic charm, with dim lighting and soft music playing in the background. Anna sits at the counter, nervously stirring her coffee, scanning the room as she tries to work up the courage to ask about Igor. She's about to give up when she notices a woman in her 50s at a nearby table, watching her intently. After a few tense moments, the woman approaches. You're looking for someone, aren't you? How did you know? Shrugging, smiling knowingly. I've been coming here for years. I remember everyone who's ever frequented this place. You seem a bit lost. Actually, I'm looking for information about someone named Tatiana. She used to come here with my husband, Igor. The woman's expression shifts, a shadow crossing her face as she sits down across from Anna, looking at her carefully. So Igor finally settled down, huh? That boy was a charmer. She sighs, looking thoughtful. Tatiana, yes, she was around here a lot back then. Leaning forward, nervous but determined, what can you tell me about her? The woman introduces herself as Lisa, a longtime regular at the cafe and a friend of Tatiana's from years back. She takes a sip of her tea, her expression distant as she recalls the past. Tatiana was different. She had a fiery spirit, you could say, but she had this intense need for control. She'd leave little things of hers everywhere they went, like she wanted Igor to be reminded of her at all times. She told me once that it was her way of marking him. Marking him? Like leaving her things behind on purpose? Exactly. She said it was so no one else could ever feel comfortable in his space. She had a way of making her presence felt, even when she wasn't there. The words send a chill down Anna's spine. It feels as if Tatiana's mark has somehow lingered, reaching into Anna's own life and marriage. She feels both angry and frightened, struggling to make sense of why these reminders of Tatiana have been turning up so suddenly. Do you know if she's still interested in him? Tatiana never let go easily, but I lost touch with her a while back. Last I heard, she was still here in the city, though. She leans forward, lowering her voice. Be careful. Tatiana had a way of slipping into people's lives. If you're finding traces of her, maybe it's intentional. Anna's mind races as she processes this information. The conversation with Liza confirms her worst suspicions, that Tatiana's possessiveness might have left a lasting impact on Igor, and somehow on their home. She thanks Liza and leaves the cafe, feeling a strange mix of fear and determination. She decides it's time to confront Igor with everything she's learned, hoping he'll finally come clean. That evening, as Igor sits in the living room watching TV, Anna walks in, holding the scarf, the hairpin, and the photograph. Anne. Igor, we need to talk, now. Igor turns off the TV and looks up, his expression tense. Anna, please, not this again. We've already talked about voice shaking with intensity. No, you listen to me. I went to the cafe. I spoke with someone who knew Tatiana. She told me about how Tatiana liked to leave things around, to mark her territory. She even used those words. Igor's face pales slightly, and he looks away, unable to meet her gaze. Anna, that was so long ago. She was a complicated person. I thought that was all in the past. But is it? I'm finding these things, her things, in our house, and the messages keep coming. Someone wants me to know she was here, that she's not gone. Igor looks genuinely troubled, running a hand through his hair. I don't know what to say, Anna. I haven't seen Tatiana in years. I don't know how any of this could be happening. Hurt, voice cracking. Then why does it feel like she's everywhere? Why do I feel like a stranger in my own home? Igor reaches for her, his voice soft, almost pleading. Anna, I'm sorry. I should have told you about her, about everything. I just wanted to leave it all behind. I never thought this would come back. Anna pulls away, her mind reeling. She's beginning to wonder if the person behind the messages might be someone other than Tatiana herself. Maybe a friend or relative who wants to see Igor suffer. The uncertainty drives her to one final decision. She has to continue her investigation, regardless of where it leads. Igor might be unwilling or unable to face this shadow from his past, but she can't let it continue haunting their life. Later that night, her phone buzzes with another message. The truth is closer than you think. Look in the place you thought was safe. She stares at the words, chilled by the cryptic hint. Realizing it could mean her own bedroom, she steels herself, knowing she has to follow this lead wherever it might go. Anna's heart races as she rereads the latest message. The truth is closer than you think. Look in the place you thought was safe. The words feel like a challenge, daring her to unearth whatever hidden truth lurks in her own home. Desperation pushes her to confront Igor once more, this time with a renewed determination to find answers together. As soon as he returns from work, Anna leads him into the living room, where she's laid out everything she's found so far: the scarf, the hairpin, the photo, and even a printed copy of the anonymous messages. Igor looks at the items, his face clouded with frustration and wariness. I can't do this anymore, Igor. This isn't just some coincidence. Someone wants us to know that Tatiana is still here, haunting us. And if you don't help me, I'll find out the truth myself. Anna, I told you everything I know. I don't understand how any of this is possible. Then let's figure it out together. I found her things in our house, and I keep getting messages hinting that there's something else here, something hidden. Whoever's doing this knows you, and us, very well. Igor hesitates, visibly troubled, but finally nods, realizing that Anna won't stop until she has answers. All right, we'll do this together. I don't want you going through this alone. They start by thoroughly searching each room, beginning with the bedroom, where Anna had sensed the unfamiliar scent of perfume. They pull out drawers, empty shelves, and even check beneath the bed, looking for any clue that might point to the identity of the mysterious intruder. After an hour of meticulous searching, they find nothing. Next, they move to the attic, sorting through old boxes of keepsakes and mementos. Igor seems tense, visibly uncomfortable with digging through his past, but Anna presses on, determined to leave no stone unturned. It's strange, isn't it? How someone could know exactly where to leave these things, almost like they know our routine. Looking at her, guilty. Maybe someone from my past is trying to punish me, but Tatiana, she wouldn't have gone to these lengths, not after all this time. Searching his face, are you sure? You told me yourself that she was possessive. Maybe she's still trying to control you, even if she's not directly involved. Igor looks away, as if unable to face the possibility, but nods in reluctant agreement. They continue searching until Anna opens an old chest filled with books and photos from Igor's college days. Beneath a stack of papers, she finds a small, dusty box. She opens it, only to find a bracelet, delicate silver, with a small charm in the shape of a heart. It's engraved with the initials I and T. Holding up the bracelet, Igor, is this hers? Igor looks at the bracelet, his face pale. Yes, I had forgotten about it. It was a gift I gave her a long time ago. I thought I'd thrown it away when we broke up. Anna feels a chill run through her. If Igor had disposed of it, how had it ended up in their attic? It confirms her fears that someone else has been in their home, carefully planting items to manipulate them. She decides to confront him once again. Angry and hurt. Igor, why didn't you tell me about any of this? Why am I finding out now, piece by piece? Sighing, visibly conflicted. Because I wanted to leave it all behind, Anna. I didn't think she, or anyone connected to her, would ever be a part of our lives. As they stand there in silence, the tension between them thickens. They're interrupted by Anna's phone buzzing with another message. Look in the drawer beneath the stairs. Anna feels her stomach twist. She's unnerved by how specific the messages are, as though someone is watching them in real time. She shows Igor the message, and together they go to the drawer beneath the stairs. Inside, they find a small stack of letters bound by a faded ribbon. The letters are from Tatiana, addressed to Igor, with dates spanning the years after their breakup. They sit down on the floor, Anna clutching the letters with shaking hands. She reads the first one aloud. Igor, I can't believe you think you can move on without me. You might try, but no one will ever understand you the way I do. Someday, you'll realize that, and I'll be waiting. Anna looks at Igor, stunned. Each letter becomes increasingly desperate, the words darkening with a tone of possessiveness and obsession. It's clear that Tatiana never truly let him go, even after they broke up. Anna reads the final letter, dated just before they had moved into their current home. You may think you're rid of me, Igor, but I'll always be there, just out of sight. You can't escape me, no matter how far you run. Igor looks horrified, as if seeing a ghost from his past. I never read these. I never even knew she sent them. I can't believe this. Voice filled with, Igor, are you sure she's out of your life? This doesn't feel like someone who would just let you go. Igor buries his face in his hands, and Anna can sense a growing fear in him. He finally looks up, his voice barely above a whisper. Anna, I swear to you, I haven't seen her in years. I don't know why any of this is happening. But if Tatiana, or someone close to her, is doing this, we need to stop it. Anna nods, feeling both dread and relief that Igor is finally taking her seriously. As they hold each other in the quiet of their home, they realize just how vulnerable their life together has become. The haunting reminders of Tatiana have started to feel like a real, tangible threat. In the final moments of the chapter, Anna's phone buzzes with one last message for the night. Tomorrow, you'll find out everything. Meet me where it all ended. She stares at the screen, feeling a chill run through her. The message is an invitation, a dare, promising answers but also likely dangers. They look at each other, knowing that tomorrow may change everything. But for Anna, the risk is worth it. She's ready to end this haunting once and for all. The following morning, Anna and Igor leave their home together, a quiet resolve shared between them. The latest message had instructed them to meet where it all ended, leading them to the park where Igor and Tatiana had said their final goodbyes years ago. The place is quiet, almost deserted, save for a few joggers and dog walkers. A heavy mist hangs in the air, adding to the eerie atmosphere. As they approach a bench at the park's edge, Anna's phone buzzes once more. She glances down, heart pounding. The message reads, "You're almost there. Now open your eyes." Anna's hands tremble as she shows the message to Igor. They sit on the bench, both scanning their surroundings. After a few tense moments, a woman emerges from behind a nearby tree, walking toward them. She looks older than the photo Anna had found, but there's no mistaking the familiar face. It's Tatiana's sister, Marina, calmly with a slight smirk. "I see you finally got my messages." Anna and Igor stare, stunned. "Marina, what are you doing here? Why would you do all this?" Shrugging. "Tatiana never let go of you, Igor. Even after she was gone, I felt her pain, her anger. She was my sister, and you broke her heart. I thought it was time you felt what she felt." Anna's mind races, piecing together Marina's motives. It dawns on her that Marina must have planted the items in their home, keeping Tatiana's memory alive in the most invasive way possible. "So, you sent those messages? You came into our home and planted all of those things to... what? Scare me? Make me doubt my husband?" Nodding with a twisted smile. "It worked, didn't it? You felt her presence, didn't you? That's all I wanted. For you to understand that she's still here, that she never left him." Igor clenches his fists, his face filled with a mix of anger and guilt. "Tatiana and I ended things because it wasn't healthy. I never wanted to hurt her. But this is cruel, Marina. You've been haunting us with a ghost just to punish me?" Raising her chin defiantly. "My sister didn't deserve to be forgotten. You moved on, but she never did. And I wanted to make sure you never truly did either." Anna looks at Marina, feeling a wave of sadness and anger. She realizes that this entire ordeal stemmed not only from Tatiana's inability to let go, but from Marina's obsessive need to keep her sister's memory alive in a twisted way. Anna reaches for Igor's hand, holding it tightly as she confronts Marina. "What you did is cruel. Love isn't about control or possession. It's about respect and trust. Igor is with me now, and we've built a life together. Tatiana's memory has no place in our marriage." Marina's expression falters, a flicker of doubt crossing her face. She looks down, avoiding their gaze, her resolve weakening. I just wanted her to matter, to leave a mark, even if it was through pain." Gently, trying to reach her. "She did matter, Marina. I cared deeply for her, but we both moved on in our own ways. This isn't the way to honor her memory." Marina stares at him, her face crumbling as the weight of her actions hits her. She sits down on the edge of the bench, suddenly looking smaller and lost. "I thought I was doing this for her, but maybe it was for me. She was all I had, and when she was gone, I didn't know how to let her go." A heavy silence falls over them, each person lost in their own thoughts. Finally, Anna speaks, her voice soft but steady. "If you want to keep her memory alive, then do it in a way that honors who she was, not through anger and pain. Let us move forward, and you should too." Marina nods slowly, her expression resigned. She looks away, her shoulders slumping as if a burden has finally lifted. "I'm sorry. I didn't realize how far I had taken this. I'll leave you both alone. You deserve to move on." Without another word, she stands up and walks away, disappearing into the mist. Anna and Igor sit in silence for a long moment, the tension between them finally easing. Igor turns to Anna, his eyes filled with remorse and relief. "I'm so sorry, Anna. I never meant for any of this to happen. If I'd been honest with you from the start, maybe none of this would have happened." Squeezing his hand. "We can't change the past, Igor, but we can move forward. Together." They embrace, feeling the weight of Marina's twisted scheme lifting from their shoulders. Their connection feels stronger, forged through the ordeal they've just endured. They walk back home, hand in hand, with a renewed sense of trust and understanding. That evening, as they sit together in their living room, Anna turns to Igor, her heart lighter than it's felt in weeks. "No more secrets?" Chuckling. "No more secrets." They laugh, a sense of peace settling over them as they realize that their love has survived a trial they hadn't seen coming. Together, they look forward to building new memories, untainted by the past and free from the shadows that once haunted them. In the final moments of the chapter, Anna deletes the last message from her phone and blocks the unknown number, symbolically closing the door on Tatiana's lingering presence. She and Igor share a quiet evening together, embracing the future they fought to protect.